This is Barry from Imagination to Reality, and in this video we're going to go through the 3 methods we can use to move our i2R CNC machine. So the first and most simplest method we can use is simply by using your Windows-based keyboard and mouse. Another method for moving the CNC machine is by using a touchscreen monitor. The third method is an additional product you can purchase called the UCCNC 201 wireless jog pendant. And this basically communicates straight to the UCCNC software and allows you to control the CNC machine. As always with our CNC machines, before we run any sequence or make any movements, we should run the home all sequence first. To do this, we need to undo the flashing reset on the screen till it's solid, and then we can click the home all button. The home all command always moves the Z up to clear the table first, then it moves the X across, and then it moves the Y forward. This always happens in the same sequence and at the same speed. Now if we were to look at the first method of moving our CNC machine manually, let's go straight to our keyboard. Very simply, with the keyboard and mouse, we're using the arrow keys to move the machine right, left, up and down. But we also need to remember that there's a third axis we need to navigate through called the Z axis. And the Z axis is operated using the page up and the page down key. So for now, we can see that the machine is in the home position, which is to the frontmost left of the machine. So we'd obviously want to initiate our first command to be away from that location. So let's do this by holding the right arrow key. While holding the right arrow key, as long as it remains pressed, the machine will move at a slow stepping motion. When we release the key, the machine stops. If we were to move the Y-axis away from the front of the machine or in a Y positive direction, we can press the up arrow key. As we depress the key, the machine stops. If we were to move the Z-axis closer to the table or the Z in a negative direction, we press the page down key. Again, while holding the page down key, we can see that the Z-axis is slowly moving down towards the table in a Z negative direction, and as we depress the key, it will stop. All these motions in any direction are very slow jog movements. When you gain confidence and you're sure where the machine wants to travel to, you can move in a rapid motion by holding the shift key and then pressing any of those direction keys that you want to move in. During any of those rapid travel movements, if you let go of the shift key but stay holding the directional key, the machine will return to a slow jogging pace. Again, you can toggle the fast motion by holding the shift key. So now we've gone through some of the basic types of movements we can do using the keyboard alone. The next step of this video is to show how we can get more accurate or smaller increments of motion using either your touchscreen or your mouse. So with the interface of UCCNC, there is a jog panel located on the left-hand side of the screen. And clicking on the blue bar on the left-hand side of the screen with either your touchscreen or your mouse will open up the jog panel. In this jog panel, we can see a lot of different types of motion we can use. All our axes are located here, the X, Y, and Z in a negative and positive direction. These are all clickable buttons that can be done using your mouse or the touchscreen monitor. Please note there is 2 types of motion the CNC can run through, either continuous or step motion. The continuous motion was what we sampled first using the keyboard, where holding any of the arrow keys moves the machine in a continuous motion. This can be replicated through the jog panel as well, either with our touchscreen or the mouse. Assuming that the continuous is illuminated and we hold any of the directional arrows or click any of the directional arrows with your mouse, the machine will move in these directions. Please also note when not using your keyboard, and in this case we're using our mouse or the touchscreen, we don't necessarily have the shift key at hand to enable a rapid movement. And that's where we can increase and decrease the jog feed rate using the plus and the minus icon on the jog screen. So now we've increased our jog feed up to 80%, and again holding the X positive button on the screen or clicking it with the mouse, you can see now the machine's moving much faster or at 80% the available rapid feed rate. Another useful type of manual motion that we will use on an ongoing basis is the step motion. The step motion moves at any predefined increment. And on the screen set, you can see that there is 4 predefined increments 0.001, 0.01, 0.1, and 1. And these are all units of measurement in millimeters. So if we have the step motion selected at 0.1 and we again click any of those directional keys, the machine will move in that direction at 0.1 of a millimeter. Please note that the step motion speed is defined by what's set by your F set on the screen set. And right now the F set is only set to 6.0, and that's 6.0 millimeters per minute. If we were to increase our step motion speed, we could use the MDI tab to type in F for feed rate and maybe something like 400, press the enter key, and now we can see the F set has jumped up to 400, and this is 400 millimeters per unit. Back to the jog panel with the step motion engaged. Maybe this time we use the 1 millimeter increment. Now we can see that every time we click in any given direction, the machine moves a lot quicker at that predefined increment. If you did want to move something that's not one of the 4 predefined increments, you can also type in a step distance here, and it could be something random like 4.96 of a millimeter, for example. And now when I press the enter key to acknowledge that, and we move in any given direction, it's going to move at our predefined feed rate of 400 millimeters a minute at distance of 4.96 millimeters. And this can be useful if you're really trying to line up to a job quite accurately. One bit of advice I'd give that catches some users up is to forget to go back to continuous motion. And if you forget to go back to continuous motion, every time you press an arrow on your keyboard or using the jog panel, it will still be only moving a step increment, and you may feel like the machine's not moving at all. So don't forget when you're finished to go back to continuous motion. So now we've gone through basic motion using our keyboard and mouse and our touchscreen monitor. We will do a separate video going through the details of how to use the UCCNC jog pendant at a later date. Now you're ready to move on to the next video and look at how to set up a job.